What's up, everyone? It's Michael here, aka Dangstrat. I hope all is well. Today is Monday, July 7th, and it's 10:28 p.m. Eastern Time right now as I make this video. Here's my weekly outlook for the upcoming week. So starting off with DXY on the daily time frame here, you can see Monday's candle, today's candle, took out the previous week's high. Going on to the weekly time frame here, you can see that right now we're currently rejecting this weekly fair value gap. I'm watching the dealing range here on the daily time frame. We have the swing high here, swing low here. The midpoint or equilibrium of this level is still right here. So we haven't reached that yet, and ideally I would want to see price reach that level and then look for potential rejection from there. Right now, the order flow is still bearish on dollar, but we're seeing a retracement here. So typically when we get a retracement, we tend to trade back into an equilibrium point. So for an example, let's see if I can find another one. So here's a swing high, here is a swing low right here, and then when we retraced here, you can see we hit this equilibrium point and then made a new low. So maybe we can show another example. Gonna have to remove some of these lines so it doesn't get too confusing, but for an example, let's do this one. Swing high here, swing low right here. When price retraced, it retraced to this equilibrium point, and it did it fairly quick. Over here, right, new swing high, and then we form a swing low here. So this is the equilibrium point here. You can see we hit this level and then make a new low. So you can see that this is a pattern that continues to play out, pretty often. So that's why I'm gonna continue to look for DXY to retrace to this equilibrium and then look for further downside from there. So with that being said, here is EU on the daily time frame, and you can see that right now we're trading in a premium, so we haven't reached the equilibrium point yet. Equilibrium point is about 1.165 ish. So again, we haven't reached that level yet. Going onto the 1 hour chart here, this actually looks like a fairly decent range here on the 1 hour chart, but again, I'm being a bit cautious since price is still trading in a premium. We have some low resistance liquidity here, over here. So we took some of that out. Again, going back to that weekly time frame, you can see that we're trading. We actually rated the previous week's low, and again now we're seeing a reaction off that level. But going back onto that 1 hour time frame, we still have some low resistance liquidity here. We have an imbalance here. So this equilibrium point would line up as a good level to watch for, unless we deviate this low here. So this low could potentially be a range low, range high, potential deviation here on the range. And then when you look at the H1 order flow here, let me turn back on the magnet. This is the POI to watch for. So right now we'll see how Asia and London plays out. If we displace higher, this POI here could be an area to watch for longs. And if we fail to hold these levels, then this equilibrium point will likely be the next draw on liquidity, therefore EU. Moving over to GU, and GU will start on the daily time frame first. So right now on the daily time frame, we rejected this daily fair value gap here on Friday. Monday, we took out this internal low here, and we didn't take out the previous week's low yet, so I believe this should still be inside week here. Yeah, so GU is still inside week. We're closer to taking out that previous week's low. So again, I'm not too biased right now with this market. I'm gonna be very cautious right now. I actually like gold for potential longs here. I haven't traded gold yet, but this setup looks quite interesting here. So you can see gold took out this level. I know it may look like equal lows, but it did raid this low here. And then we got a change in order flow here on the daily time frame by closing, above this opening price here. And so this becomes our POI, and we also, have a daily fair value gap, bullish daily fair value gap that forms. We got an internal raid here on the daily time frame. So if we zoom in a little bit, I am treating this as a deviation, looking for a retracement and then looking for further upside. So something like this for gold is what I'm watching for. So we'll be eyeing for longs in the New York session here for gold. That will probably be my top watch for the rest of this week. It's a little bit clearer rather than EU and GU right now. Moving over to ES and NQ, last week's outlook was looking for ES to reach a new all-time high level. So we hit that level on on Thursday last week before we started to see a retracement here. The higher time frame objective has been hit here for ES. So typically, the next ideal thing is we consolidate a little bit, and then we set up for a next leg up and continue to go into price discovery there for ES and NQ. So far on the daily time frame, we did take out Monday's low here. So what I'm watching for, we rated this low here. We're currently trading inside, or we got a reaction off that level there. I actually like this range here. So this is the all-time high level, or that previous all-time high level. This could possibly be a deviation to watch out for in the New York session. And then, we'll see how things react from there. If we can close, displace back above this level here, I think longs could be in play for the New York session. So that's currently another thing that I will watch for Tuesday. And then moving over to crypto, let's go to BTC, and Again, we're still following this outlook that I posted a couple weeks ago. After rating this low, I talked about how this was a potential change in order flow. Back here when it was at Monday, June 23rd. We got a nice reaction off of it. We rated this low within this weekly fair value gap. So still going to look for new all-time highs here for BTC. I am still in this trade here. Think we could potentially raid this low, and then ideally I would like to see a leg up to new all-time highs there for BTC. So that is it for this week's outlook. Starting off with DXY, just quick recap. Ideally, I would like to see this retrace to the equilibrium point. This weekly fair value gap could potentially stop that from happening, and we could reject off this level, but I would like to see a full fill on this weekly fair value gap, raid that equilibrium point, and then trade lower from there. And then for EU, where did EU go on my watch list? All right, so EU, again, right now, not too biased. Price is still trading in a premium when you look at this dealing range here. The equilibrium point is right here. We have some low resistance liquidity there. So I'm going to be watching the 1 hour chart going into the New York session for tomorrow. This could be a potential change in order flow here on the H1 chart. But, right now on the H4 chart, we are still trading, we're still in this level here. This H4 bearish fair value gap. So if we reject off of here, the equilibrium could be the next target, but keeping an open bias right now. We'll see where things are at in the New York session, and we'll be watching the lower time frame, see where things take us. My ideal scenario or setup is actually going to be gold for this week. So we have range high, range low. We've deviated the range low already. And so we can get a retracement in the New York session or London session tomorrow, then I will be looking for longs here. This will be my top setup for this week. ES and NQ, I am actually still bullish right now. I think we could potentially just make another leg up here to new all-time highs. We'll see where things are at in the New York session. And then BTC, I am still in this trade. I am still bullish right now. We left equal highs up here. So, buy side liquidity is being engineered. I think we will make a new all-time high. We'll see if we can maybe get a raid on this low here and then trade higher. So that is it for today. I hope all is well, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out.